Hello everyone, hello. Alyssa Lebrack, functional nutritionist and gut expert, and today we're talking all about Candida overgrowth. But I'm quite confident that what we're going to talk about today you've never heard before. You see, most people when they're dealing with Candida overgrowth and are trying to get rid of this yeast overgrowth, this imbalance going on inside their gut, they're told to approach it from a diet standpoint, right? We're told to eliminate all the sugars, to cut out the fruits, to cut out the sweet potatoes and white potatoes and even rices. We're told to cut out mushrooms and peanuts and pistachios. And before we know it, we're back on this restrictive food bandwagon. And as I always say, this often doesn't support the outcome you want to create, this outcome of having food freedom, of feeling normal again and being able to go out to restaurants and eat what everyone else is eating. We're back on this restrictive lifestyle. And not only that, but it has been proven to be completely ineffective. And today I'm going to prove to you why. So make sure you stay till the end because I, again, am very confident that you are going to be shocked by the two things that are feeding a Candida overgrowth that are unrelated to food. So let's jump in and get started. So Candida can impact all different parts of our body, right? We can have symptoms from obviously gut issues like the gas and bloating, diarrhea and constipation, but it can wreak havoc in all our other bodily systems. We can get joint pains, we can have brain fog, fatigue, memory issues, irritability. It can even impact our hormones, everything from PCOS, endometriosis, and so much more. So when we're looking at Candida, we're not just looking at the gut. And so we have to understand, again, why is this so much greater than food? And so we often have to look at what is attracting the Candida into our environment. Because we all have Candida in our gut. We all want to have Candida in our gut, believe it or not. In fact, a small healthy amount of Candida is beneficial. It helps to break down our foods. So the problem is when it becomes overgrown. What's causing it to overgrow, right? I mean, sure, if you're eating absolutely, strictly processed sugar-laden foods, that's not going to help the situation. But in my experience, the people that we work with inside our Love and Trust Your Guts program are people who are eating quite restrictively, who've already eliminated a ton of foods due to food sensitivities, trying to figure out what food is causing the problem, and it's not really working. In fact, they're eating clean enough that that is most definitely not the thing that is causing and or feeding an overgrowth of any kind of bacteria. There's a larger exposure of toxin occurring. And there's two types that we need to go looking at. The first one are mycotoxins, and mycotoxins come from mold. And I'm talking about the mold that lives in our home. And this is a huge underlying root cause that I see behind chronic gut infections that often gets missed. One, because it can feel overwhelming. Two, there's not enough education around it. And three, because most people just want to supplement their way through. It can feel, again, overwhelming having to confront a potential mold overgrowth in our home that may be the very thing that's contributing to our chronic sickness. And so the thing about mold that we have to understand is there's no such thing as a completely mold-free home. That's not realistic, and that's not what we're talking about. Just like in our gut, there is a microbiome in our home. And when there is an overgrowth of mold growth, these mycotoxins can sometimes become an issue for us that we become exposed to and end up residing in our body. The thing about mold is that it weakens our immune system and it allows Candida to colonize and begin growing and spreading throughout our body. So what I often see when someone has a chronic Candida issue, they usually have a mold exposure going on, a source of something that is weakening the immune system and encouraging the growth of this yeast, this fungus inside the body, right? What we like to call Candida is mold's dirty little cousin. So that's number one. Number two, we have to talk about the second thing that can feed a Candida overgrowth is heavy metals. Now, heavy metals are another really interesting thing that we get exposed to from all different places. It could be from the water that you're drinking. It could be from the cleaning products or body products you're using at home. It could be from a work environment that you're in, depending on your line of work. There are many different places that we get exposed to heavy metals. Could be in our cookware, right? And the thing about heavy metals, much like mold, is that again, it weakens the immune system. But in particular, what Candida does is it binds to heavy metals to try to draw it out of circulation, to try to draw these heavy metals out of circulation. And that's a really important thing to understand. Candida is actually kind of protecting the body in that sense. And so this is such an important example of why we don't just go in and try to kill everything, right? We're not trying to just kill our way into getting rid of our symptoms. We have to understand why it's there, because often there's an underlying root cause that is causing that symptom. And in this case, the symptom is Candida overgrowth. So Candida is protective in nature to the body in that it is protecting you from some sort of heavy metal exposure or too many heavy metals inside the body. And so before you go in trying to just kill this Candida and starving it and also starving you while you're at it, why don't we focus on making sure your environment is clean, that you're living in a healthy, balanced home in terms of mold exposure. We're not looking for mold-free, we're looking for a healthy, balanced microbiome in your home. And that also that you don't have an overgrowth of heavy metals in your body. All right, so these are two big things I want you to start digging into before you eliminate any more foods. Now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you are someone who has followed a Candida diet before or any other Candida protocol. I'd love to know, did it work for you? How are you feeling now? Or are symptoms still present? And if you're someone who is struggling with Candida overgrowth and you want help in getting to the root causes, being able to coach up the function of your body so that you can get rid of these symptoms, reach out to us and we'll definitely chat about if it makes sense for us to work together, and we can give you a complimentary call and be able to connect together. All right, guys? So we'll chat real soon. I hope this was helpful. Keep your eyes peeled for more Candida content this week. All right, bye.